Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Mailbag. Today we are going to talk about the DJI Mini 3 Pro package and just how I fit it inside my Shimoda Action X30. I'm going to show you how I pack it specifically for backcountry use, but you can of course do this anywhere. Generally, in my opinion, backcountry skiing or snowboarding is going to be a more extreme use case scenario than if you're just hiking or just existing in a little more relaxed environment. Now, the main reason I'm going to show you this particular packing technique is so I can access my drone quickly, but also pack it up again quickly and easily. Drones and the DJI Mini 3 particularly, it's got all these loose pieces. The propellers like to catch on things, and ideally you have a band around it, but when you're in the mountains and you are maybe traveling in avalanche terrain, or it's snowing, or your friends have been waiting 5 minutes for you to pack up all your gear and catch up to them, it's nice to have a really easy and simple way to get your gear back inside the core unit quickly. So let's just start with the tools that I use to make this job a lot easier. So I have a small mirrorless core unit, and that is going to go into the top of the bag. Now, the reason I'm putting it in the top of the bag as opposed to the rear is because when I access the drone, I'm only accessing the drone, and I'm going to take the bag off and I'm going to put the bag in the snow like this. So when it stands vertically in the snow, this is obviously going to be taller than it is when it's laying down flat. And I'm just going to be able to access this area much quicker and easier than if it was lying down. So inside the small DSLR core unit, I'll have one of the stock dividers that it comes with, but I'll also have two pieces from the DSLR divider kit. First is this accordion-like divider, and then we will have the divider pocket. You'll notice that I have the tabs pressed down. The reason I have it like that is because I don't want the Velcro to catch when I put it inside the core unit. So you can use this pocket to put anything in that fits. Just for an example, a DJI Mini 3 battery fits in here, but that's probably the max for space. It would also be great for keeping propellers or maybe some filters or something like that in there. Now, personally, I've been using it empty because I just want to have that little bit of air and cushioning, and you'll see why in a second. Now, the mindset when packing is extra space. Once again, the drone has got these floppy propellers. It's got the fragile gimbal. I want to easily drop this in here without having to worry too much about it fitting in perfectly and tight. I can quickly drop it in, and I can take my divider pocket and just slide it in like this, and that's gonna add a little pillow for it and give it some cushioning and prevent it from bouncing around. Now, another option I could do is I could take the accordion divider like this, place it inside. You can see it's straight there, but when we put it in, we could just kind of take our finger and put it like that and buy some extra space, and then drop it in, and then put our finger back, and that kind of puts some more pressure on it and keeps it tight. I prefer the pillow, but you could also try this. What I do use the accordion for is I place it against the wall just like this, and that allows me to take my controller and just easily put it in like this. You can see that the little kink that the divider creates fits the controller really nicely, and I can just quickly drop it in like this. Now, one other accessory you'll want to make this process so much easier is these joystick guards. They just slide on like this, and that prevents your joysticks from moving. So when you're putting it inside your bag or it's packed in there, your joysticks aren't going to break or snap. Having to remove these every time you access your controller is quite a pain, and if you are in an environment like snow and drop one of these, you could probably say goodbye to that item. I do have it wrapped on this old shoestring that I've borrowed from my son's old soccer shoes, and that creates a little leash which I've connected to this little screw mount. This screw mount's actually from a drone controller neck strap, but the neck straps that I've seen for these controllers, they're all way overbuilt for the weight of a drone controller, and so I just take one of these, thread it through like I have here, and then thread it through the drone guards. And what that also does, it allows me to just take these off, drop them, not have to worry about losing them and putting them in my pocket. This way I know they're always always attach to the controller. There's one more benefit here of this. I can hang this from my neck, and when I have to launch the actual drone, I can just put it in my palm, power everything up, and you'll see that I have the actual screw mount on the left side. And the reason for that is because the way the button system is set up on the DJI controller is that it's a left-handed operation, and most of us are right-handed. I realize there's a few that are not, but you'll want to release your drone with your right hand and have the controller in the left. So you see the launch button is right here. There's the takeoff, right? So I've got this in my left hand. Of course, wait till it goes. Just like that. So everything's going to be within access with your left hand when you have this screw mount on this side, when you catch and release your drone with your right hand. One other thing that I haven't mentioned, I do have this lens hood on my DJI Mini 3. If you own a DJI Mini 3, maybe you can sympathize with me, but the actual guard cover that it comes with is a pain in the butt to put on. At least it is for me. So I went and bought this cover with the idea that it protects the gimbal when it's inside the bag. This one is much easier to take off and on than the one that actually comes with the drone. Now it is a lens hood, so it is designed to protect your drone lens from beams of light, but what I found is that it often gets in the shot, so I don't actually fly with it on. Yeah, so I'll put the core unit in now. Now when you're putting in our core units, probably 9 times out of 10, you kind of want to dip it in an angle and then scoop it in, and this way is going to be no different. So we've got her in just like this. You can see here. One thing before I put this in, do a couple of dry runs at home before you head to the mountains. Just see, do you want the drone on the right side? Do you want it on the left side? Just see what positioning is best for your workflow. Do you want the little kink for the controller on this side? Maybe you want it on that side. Figure that out before you get to the hills. So let's just drop that in. I'm gonna take my little pillow. Now you see the pillow's got this little curve, so it makes it a lot easier to put in there. And then I'm gonna take my controller and drop it in just like that. And that's a nice, quick, easy way to pack it away and access it. Now, one other useful way to self-film is with a selfie stick and an Insta360 or a GoPro Max. In this case, I'm going to show you with the X3 by Insta360. You can see here I have the pole mounted to my bag. Generally, I will just leave that there all the time because when it's compressed, it basically takes up no space, and more importantly, you can't see it at all. So what I do is I insert it on an angle, and because this pocket zipper goes in this direction, it forces the selfie stick to be angled outward, and that lines up perfectly with the front compression strap. So I just do a quick wrap around the pole, and when I need access to it, I can just easily pull it out like that. And when I don't want access to it, I can just tuck it in, and basically you just don't know it's there. Quick demonstration. We'll pop my X3 out of this front pocket here and pull it up a little bit. Quickly put it on, and then I can extend it. The main thing you want to take note of here is that the actual selfie stick and the camera are off the back. They kind of jet outward versus going straight up. If you go straight up, you're gonna get this giant head view, kind of like Kazoo if you ever watched the Flintstones. But when it's off the back, you get a much more natural look. So if you are that type of creator who doesn't mind pointing the camera at yourself once in a while, or you are trying to capture your friends with the drone, you can really get some interesting images with the X3 and of course also the Mavic Mini 3. Hopefully those tips help you next time you're packing your bag and heading out for an adventure. I'm going to leave you with a little clip I filmed a few weeks ago of myself just to show you how this simple little setup can effectively work. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.